Hey guys, it's Richard from Grafting Dragon Fruits, and I'm back with some more updates on how to grow your dragon fruits from cutting to fruit. And if you guys haven't checked out the most recent episodes on how to do that yet, go make sure to check that out because I showed you guys how to plant them, how to fertilize them, and what to do with all of these extra shoots. So in my last episode, I cut off a lot of these shoots. I even left some so that we can use them as future cutting for more dragon fruits. So today, they've grown back and it's been about a month and a half now. So it's time to do another update so you guys can follow along and see what we need to do at this progress. So I'm seeing a lot of new growth happening here. And you guys notice that this big branch is just sitting right here. And I did that on purpose to show you guys that your dragon fruit can actually still grow and produce you another branch. Let's say you only had one dragon fruit cutting of that variety, but you wanted more for your pot. So this was another good way to, get another cutting, cut them off, and then plant them so that way you can start a whole nother cutting of the same variety. So that's what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna show you guys what I'm gonna be doing with all of these cuts, which ones to remove and which ones to save. So the last update, if you guys remember from the last episode, our dragon fruit here, this is Isis yellow, and the growth was only up to here a month and a half ago. And now, look at how much growth it has made. It is almost at the top of the trellis. And I want to encourage more growth to happen. So we are gonna be removing all of these extra branches so the energy really focuses on the main branch. So that way it can pass the canopy and I can break it and let it umbrella out. And I'm gonna show you guys one that I already tipped and it's already umbrelling out and it's super cool. So let's go ahead and get this branch right here removed. So this is Isis gold or Isis yellow. And I'm just gonna remove it right at the stem. And when you make a fresh stem cut like this, it's gonna be looking a little green and you want this to callus out before you plant it. So I would say 2 to 4 days. Just make sure you see the green start to turn a little brown and then you can use this as a cutting. So what I would do is I would take a Sharpie, I'll write Isis yellow on this so I know which cutting it is. I'll leave it in the shade. Don't put it into any sun yet, you guys, because it has no roots yet. It can't keep itself hydrated from overheating in the sun, and sunburn can happen. So put this in a cool area, get it rooted in a shaded area. It usually takes about, in the summertime, 2 to 3 weeks for it to fully root. And there's actually other ways that I've been using to root, and I will do that in the next episode, how I root this with the heat mat and some water. So I'm gonna leave this aside for now and then show you guys what I'm gonna do with the rest, okay? So that's gonna be an extra cutting of Isis yellow that I can use. And how big you want it to be depends on you. You can let it grow bigger, but about 8 to 14 inches is an ideal height for me. So I'm gonna put this aside and now let's focus on the other new growth. So again, I have an extra cutting now and all of this is just energy suckers. So what they're doing is they're just hindering the growth of my main stalk for my Isis yellow. So what I'm gonna do is just cut them off. Just like that, and you can discard them in the trash. You can keep them to graft, totally up to you, but I won't be needing them, so I'm just gonna be throwing them away. So that is my Isis yellow. Now that all of the lower growth is removed, that extra branch that I kept as a cutting is removed, this is gonna grow so fast now, you guys. It's gonna just take off, and once it passes the trellis canopy, we're gonna tip it, and then once we tip it, this is what you're gonna see. If you look at my white sapphire here, this one already has passed the trellis and the bugs has been getting to it. So you see all of these scars here, a snail has got to it and I wasn't able to be out here to remove him and he did a good damage. There was also a new growth here that grew, but he ate the tips. They love new growth. So you guys gotta be very careful with new growth. They love to destroy them and do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove it because it's no longer good. But if you guys check on top, I already have 1, 2, 3 new growth. And what I did was I cut the tip here and now 3 new branches are gonna umbrella out. And you wanna have about 3 to 5 main branches from this tip to let it grow out. And from every one of these branches, you're gonna have a 3 to 2 main sub branches. And we will get there as the episodes continue on. But just a little quick summary of what is gonna happen to this one as it grows. And you guys check the Isis yellow. It's almost there. We have about 4 to 5 more inches of growth, and I would wait until it's about 2 inches over the canopy, and I'll cut 1 inch off, and this is what you're gonna have. Okay, so here is my Sour Patch Kids lots of new growth has been growing out, and all of this new growth, I don't need it. I want to focus again my main branch to reach the top of my canopy, because that's where all the sun is, guys. They grow so much faster once they reach to the top. The growth will get thicker, and it's just gonna, you know, a lot of good stuff is gonna happen. But first, you got to make sure that all of this growth is gonna be cut off, so then it focuses on growing up. And if you needed a cutting, you can save one and let that grow to about the size you want and cut it as easy as cutting. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna remove all of the extra growth from Sour Patch Kids. Okay, so all of the new growth is out of Sour Patch Kids. This is gonna continue to grow, and you guys see how it's hanging out like that? They love to grow straight if you give them support. So what I'm gonna do, guys, I have my trusty handy garden tape here. I'm gonna be tying this close to the support so that way they can grow straight up. If you guys notice, I didn't tie it, and now they're starting to curl this way and kind of like twirl around. So what I'm gonna do, take some garden tape, and this is what you're gonna be doing through the whole progress, you guys. As they grow, keep on tying them to the center of your trellis, so that way they can grow straight, they grow where you want it to grow, and it's totally fine, okay? So that's what I'm gonna do. Don't tie too hard, because sometimes when I tie too hard, I kind of break the branches, and it does happen, but just like that. So now it won't wiggle, it's gonna continue growing, and as this keeps on growing up, I'm gonna keep on tying it, okay? And now we are on to our third variety here. This is Thai Gold. So Thai Gold, as you can see, has more branches growing out. This one right here has a new growth. I'm not gonna need this. And what am I gonna do with this, you guys? You guessed right, I'm gonna use it as an extra cutting. So what I'm gonna do is cut this here. I'm gonna label it Thai Gold, and this one is very thick and very green. So this will make a very good cutting. Even though it's not as big as the other one, it is very mature, and if you feel this, it's nice and thick, and that's what you want in a healthy cutting, okay? I'm gonna leave this aside and then label that later. So now we have all of this extra growth. Again, I want to focus all of my main energy growing to the very top. This one is about 3 to 4 inches away. We're so close, and we're just gonna speed up the process by removing all of these energy suckers. So we're not gonna need that. We're not gonna need this. And again, you can always use these to graft if you want to, but I don't. And that's it. So what we did today was remove all of the extra growth. All of the growth that we left for cuttings are now removed. Our main branch is almost to the top of the canopy. So next episode, you should be seeing them pass, and I'll show you guys how I crop the top so we can create new branches. And the last thing to do is just inspect your soil to see if you need some watering. So now I'm just gonna take my hand, put it in the soil. My rule of thumb is if I can clump it and it doesn't break apart, then it's good. You don't need a soil. But because I'm digging about 2 inch deep, I'm trying to clump the soil, but they still break like this, it is time to water, you guys. Okay, so if you guys remember in the last episode, I told you guys to water with some fertilizer, and because we have been fertilizing this whole time, salt buildup will be in the pot, and from time to time you're just going to want to water with regular water. The regular water is going to flush out all of the extra salts that's been growing in there and been adding in there, because we use synthetic fertilizer. If you're using organic fertilizer, you don't have to worry about that. Just keep watering the same, add your organic fertilizer, and just keep it as is, because all of the beneficial bacteria and microbes are in there. But because we use synthetic, it grows really fast, really quick, but there's salts in there that go acclimates inside our pots. So a regular watering in between fertilizing cycles will be very beneficial to it. And once you do one watering cycle with a flush, then you can go back to your fertilizing routine. We're using Grow, and at this point we're using Grow because they're not big enough to produce fruits yet. So that's why we're doing what we're doing today. So let's go ahead and water with some water, and then we're done for today. And the next episode, that's when we're gonna start to fertilize again, okay? So let me get my cuttings safe and sound. So this is just regular plain water, you guys, no fertilizer. And the reason we do this is to cleanse the soil We want to wash out all of the excess of salt, so that way our roots stay healthy, our plants stay healthy, and there's not an overabundance of salts inside our soil. So I'm gonna water just until I see some water come out of the pot. And I think that's good. So the minute you guys see water coming out of the pots, I know that's about enough. It's not gonna come yet, it's gonna take some time. That's when you know when to stop watering, and it's done. And that is it for this episode, you guys. Just a little bit of maintenance, but it needs to be done. You have to spend time with your dragon fruits. And in the next episode, we're gonna get to the top of the canopy, and hopefully soon we're gonna get some fruits by the end of this summer. So I hope you guys thought this was helpful. If you guys did, please hit the like button. If you guys have any questions at all, please leave it in the comments and I will get back to you guys as soon as I can. And if you guys want to see more grafting and dragon fruit videos of mine, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that way you guys won't miss a single thing. Have a wonderful day now. Bye guys.